Heb je je ooit afgevraagd wat al die jonge miljonairs die je online ziet weten wat jij niet weet? En hoe het zou zijn om op jonge leeftijd complete vrijheid te hebben? Zowel ik als mijn goede Franse vriend Louis zijn er sinds we miljonair zijn achtergekomen dat niets is wat het lijkt. Daarom onthullen we in deze video de echte waarheid van succes en wat wij hadden willen weten voordat we begonnen aan deze bijzondere reis. Dit rauwe, ongefilterde gesprek is exact wat ik miste in 2019 toen ik nog zoekende was met een grote droom in mijn achterzak. So Louis, you've been in the online business space since?
2020.
2020.
Yeah.
If you want to change your life, you get a new perspective. You don't really feel connected with your old friends anymore because the way you're thinking about certain things is changing. If someone's watching right now, a Dutch very ambitious guy or female that want to change their life, they're looking around them but no one is really into it, no one is seeing it. What kind of advice would you have for those kind of people who want to...
How you can make that shift? The first biggest shift is to go from skeptical to being a believer. Two types of people in this world. Those who, when they see something too good to be true, they say, oh, it's too good to be true, it must be fake. And those who actually are curious and are going to be like, okay, I'm actually going to look into this, and who knows, maybe it can work for me as well. So the biggest shift is to stop being a skeptic, because if you're skeptic, you'll never do anything in life, right? So that's the first thing. And the second thing is going out and getting knowledge. I think if I look back at my career, anytime I managed to do something or grow was when I had the right piece of knowledge at the right moment. And I think that I wasted a lot of time by trying to find each piece of knowledge on my own rather than actually going out and looking for it. And because I was a skeptic, it took me years of business. I had like many physical businesses. I was doing business for 5 years before I actually made like even 10K a month, let alone 10K profit, right? And as soon as my mindset shifted on this and I started learning from other people and looking at online business and everything, that's when everything just clicked. So not being a skeptic and knowledge, going out and finding knowledge. It can be books, it can be also courses like yours, programs, like all these places are amazing places to fast track your career and literally save years. Yeah. Right. And now today I'm at a moment where I can pay 10K someone just to get like one piece of information. And that's the mindset to have, because what's between you and where you want to be is literally just information.
Ja. En ik denk ook dat het gevaar is, I'm speaking Dutch now to elaborate on this. Het gevaar is ook dat, wat Louis zegt, het fast track je succes. Maar het is niet alleen dat het je succes fast track, dus dat het een paar jaar eerder gebeurt. Het is ook dat de meeste mensen die op een gegeven moment daadwerkelijk vastlopen en die kennis niet hebben, die geven op. Ik zit in deze game sinds 2019. Ik heb zoveel ambitieuze personen met grote plannen. Ik wil dit en ik ga niet doorstuderen en ik ga reizen en ik wil de wereld zien en ik wil online ondernemen. Zoveel mensen gezien die eigenwijs waren, het zelf beter dachten te kunnen, niet bereid waren om op zoek te gaan, actief op zoek te gaan naar kennis, nieuwe ideeën, nieuwe mensen. En die nu gewoon weer terug zijn bij af. Ik spendeer zelfs, zoals je weet, veel tijd in het buitenland. Ik was laatst in Nederland, Albert Heijn, mijn oude stadje. Wie zie ik daar achter de kassa zitten? Met alle respect. De persoon die een paar jaar geleden ook startte met ondernemen, maar super eigenwijs was en zelf alles beter dacht te weten. Weet je, je luistert nu naar twee jonge miljonairs. Het is niet dat wij alles weten, totaal niet. We zijn elke dag lerende. We're still learning every single day.
Yeah. However,
smart people learn from their mistakes. But really, really wise people learn from mistakes from others. Dus kies je kant. One more thing. Okay, there's this big stigma around making money online and getting the nice things, the watches, the cars. The both of us, like, we're still young, we both drive an incredible car.
Yeah.
Like, which car you drive?
GT3.
Yeah.
Porsche.
The only difference between mine and his is the spoiler. Maybe
mine is Touring, GT3 Touring, for those who know Porsche.
Yeah. But after owning all of these nice things that people actually want to achieve, Because we're saying stuff like, yeah, freedom is the most important thing. Don't care about the materialistic stuff. You know, that's what we say. But they are like, yeah, of course you guys say that because you have it all. What's your opinion about that? Like, how do you feel owning this stuff? And what kind of advice would you give to the viewer? Because some people are in it for the wrong reasons. They think certain things are going to make them happy along the way. Well, we have seen that it's completely different, and we actually enjoy a cup of tea here in the sun, sometimes even more than all the expensive stuff.
Yeah, you got to be very careful when you start making money, because you're going to have all these options. Suddenly you can buy this watch, suddenly you can buy this car. And what most people who make money do is go and splash everything on like this nice BMW. But the reason they do this is not because they want this car, but they just want to impress everyone and show that, okay, I've made it, now respect me, right? So it's a status thing. People just want status. And for example, me, I really waited a long time before buying a car or even buying a watch, because I knew that I had to find a way to be satisfied with my life and my new achievements and be at peace with the world without having to show anything to anyone. And I only bought the GT3 because it was my dream car, and I love Porsche and I love driving, and it's a real passion of mine. Same thing for the watches that I have. They're only passion watches. They're not watches that I bought to like impress anyone or to prove to the world that that's it, I've made money. So you're gonna, if you're watching this, you're probably gonna make money. You're probably gonna have a lot of success in your life because you know I need to make business. Now, when you do make money, remember this: don't buy stuff to impress people. Only buy things that genuinely make you happy. And this will save you money, it will save you time, but it will most importantly keep you free. Because the second you start buying stuff to impress people, that's when you give up your freedom, because you're always chasing that next thing you want to buy. So yeah, that's my take on it.
Yeah, I love it, man. Like, also what I see is most beginning entrepreneurs are overthinking, because they're thinking, oh, I need the PJ, I need the watches, I need the cars. But if you really think about the life you want to live, like think about your ideal week or day, you don't actually need that much. Like, you need freedom of time, freedom of location probably, and also freedom of money. But freedom of money is not necessarily like millions a month like people online do what want you to believe. For 95% of you guys watching, maybe 99%, like making 10, 15k online will completely change your life. And by thinking you need all this external stuff, you're overthinking, because you're still at level 1. You're like, oh, it's so far away. But it's actually not. If you are selling 20 products a day of 50 euros, you're making 1k a day. If you do that 30 days in a row, you're making 30k a month in revenue. It's not going to be easy, but it's quite simple. Let's say you make 30% profit. You make 9k a month. Selling 20 gadgets, products online. Only the people in Holland are buying 1 million times a day. Imagine. And people can also sell in France, in Spain, in Italy, like wherever you want. So I think it also plays a big role to stop overthinking and actually, what do you actually need? Hoe zou je echt je dagen willen indelen? Wat is daarvoor nodig? Het is veel dichterbij je dan je denkt. Stop met overdenken. And that. Louis, thanks man for sharing your knowledge.
Thanks, bro.
It's really cool to do. Like we could record a 1-hour podcast, but it's gonna be too much sauce for YouTube, I guess.
Too much.
YouTube will record the video, delete the video.
Because yeah, we live these lives, and like most of the time I'm never filming. And it seems like when people see online, they think that we always do stuff to film and to show. But 99% of our life, we never film it and we never shoot it. Because it's difficult to make vlogs.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, and also, especially if you're the kind of person that really started entrepreneurship to live a certain life for yourself and the close people around you, instead of having that need of showing everyone what you have. And I feel like we're those kind of persons, and then it's like, should I record? It can be so inspiring for a lot of people, but then at the same time, like, yeah, like I'm living in the moment, I don't feel the need to do it, you know?
Yeah, it's always a thing, like live in the moment or film,
Yeah.
but then it's difficult.
So now we're trying to do both,
No.
and it's working out better and better, I guess. Like speaking of surrounding yourself with the right people, all that kind of stuff, I think that makes this bond we have is really special. Is that maybe you guys are watching like, these guys have kind of like the same perspective on life, and yes, for a big part, but also like if we're at dinner or yesterday we're at a sick rooftop, you can see like the whole Medina, it's called, right? Like we disagree on a lot of stuff actually,
Yeah.
but in a respectful way, and I think that's really good. If you have the kind of people around you that are like, yeah, I agree, or if you become fed and it's like, oh, it's okay, you need to enjoy life, instead of like saying, there's a difference between saying what you want to hear and what's actually needed to hear. And I think if you're good friends, your brothers, or however you want to call it, you have to say what you want to say.
Yeah.
And that's how you learn. Because why do you think God or the universe gifted us with 2 ears and 1 mouth? It's because if you can't listen more than you talk, you're not able to learn. And if someone has a different perspective on life and you listen to it, you reflect on it, like that's how you learn, that's how you grow. So if you're surrounded with people like that, you disagree in a respectful way, it's one of the best things on earth, in my opinion. It keeps things fun, because imagine you think you know everything, and there are always the people that don't have their life in order, that think they know everything. And the moment you think you know everything is the moment you're slowly dying. That's what I truly believe.
Yeah.
You don't agree?
I don't agree. Yeah, I think it takes not to compliment ourselves and say we're good or whatever, but I think it takes a certain level of intelligence to be around people who are comfortable disagreeing. And so many times in my life I've been with people where, okay, we start a debate and then people just get emotional, or like, you disagree with me and I'm gonna hate you for it. And every day there's like families that are broken up because they disagree on stuff politically. I've seen my US family, actually, half of the family doesn't speak to each other because like half of them like Trump and half of them hate Trump, and so they decide to split their own family just because they disagree, right? And I think this is really a sign of stupidity. Not gonna say my family's stupid, it's my distant family anyways, but yeah, and more so maturity than intelligence, but and I think one thing business teaches you, which I love, is, thanks man, you go through so much hardship and frustration that you don't take shit from the everyday world. Other people, like normal people, I feel, let's say they have a small argument with someone in a restaurant, they might get super frustrated and super affected by it because they're not used to the friction of life and things not going their way. But I remember the early days in business, I was handling pretty much every customer, and so many times customers were insulting me. So many times people were like, super mean, super disrespectful, and I had the stress of refunds. People are not happy. Don't get me wrong, most people were happy, which is why I'm here now. But you go through a lot, and you go through times where things just go to shit, and you have this stress piling up, and you just have to fight it. And that builds resilience and resistance. It's a bit like if you have a very tough childhood, your life after that is going to be much easier. And people who have a good childhood usually becomes very tough in life, because as soon as the flowers are not blossoming the way they want them to be, they go emotional and they get crazy, so business teaches you that. And I think what I was telling earlier on my French vlog is, you almost have to wish for the objective you have to be difficult, right? You should not wish for it to be easy, right? You should wish for it to be difficult, because not only is it going to make you more resilient in life, but that also means that most people will give up when it gets hard. So anytime things get hard, instead of thinking, oh shit, why am I unlucky? Think that, okay, this is where everybody else is going to give up, and I'm going to keep going. And that's, I think...
yeah, it's the whole mindset of, does this happen against you or to you?
Yeah.
Do you see it as a moment of playing a victim, or taking responsibility and actually appreciating the lesson that's in front of you?
You know what I always tell myself? When things go to shit and things are very bad, and I feel like nothing is working out, I usually look at myself in the mirror and I say, you thought God was going to make it easy for you. Like, who am I to think that God decided to make it easy for me? Like, you really thought this? No, he made it hard for you because he wants you to work, because what's coming after this is going to be exceptional. So every time it gets hard, repeat yourself this. You thought it was going to be easy? You lazy bastard? Like, no. Be grateful that it's tough. So then once you've overcome it, the results are extremely flavorful and beautiful.
I always like to give this example. Like, did you used to play video games as a child?
Yeah.
Like, whenever you have your own character in your game. If you want to make that character very strong, for example, your Pokemon, yeah? The only way your Pokemon gets stronger is by beating other Pokemons and almost die. Because your skin is going to become thicker and this and that, and that's how your character becomes strong. But if you're wishing for a very easy life, it's impossible to become strong at the same time. It's impossible. That's just not how the universe works. And yeah, that's a really, really good point you make. So everything happens to you, not against you. And especially if you're going to take a different path than 99% of people. Like, if you want to become an entrepreneur, and yeah, you will get different challenges and you will feel lonely, and no one, like, you have the feeling that no one understands you. But this is also a decision you made. Like, you could go back to a normal life, like the 9 to 5, and nothing wrong with that. Like, beautiful. However, you made the decision to be different. So also be ready to face different challenges. Guys, soms ben ik zo aan het overdenken wat ik moet uploaden op YouTube. En ik ben met mijn podcast begonnen in 2023. I started my podcast back in 2023 purely to inspire people in Spotify. Didn't sell anything, no program, like, always said no to coaching, because people knew I was doing numbers. But I always said no because I was just focusing and dialed in. Starting to share my journey, but like, we've been talking about it in the living room. Sometimes I'm so overthinking, like, what should I share, and will people find this valuable? And because I'm just living my life, I'm just an entrepreneur, I'm just a normal human being. I like to fuck around a bit, have fun, do crazy stuff, do cool stuff. And then the moment when the camera is there and you want to create, like, because this is like what's going on every day. Like, what you just saw is just like what's going on, like, 24/7. But then it's like the moment you need to record a video, you're overthinking, like, is it going to be valuable? But the knowledge and experience, it's already in us because we're living this day by day. But yeah, I'm happy we recorded this because I'm just curious to see, like, what people think of this, and they might get some inspiration out of it. Because these are the type of videos I wish I'd seen. No fancy edits, no blah blah blah. Just two guys that are trying to figure life out and sharing their experiences.
Unlocking new levels.
Life by design.
Life by design. Man, you know, I just realized, you probably know, like, on your left eye, like, it seems like your pupil is like a door lock.
It is.
It's like a key.
It is. It is a key.
Yeah, that's crazy. I never saw it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I can see everything here. Like, for example, now.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
For example, now I put 3 fingers.
Yeah.
No, but yeah.
No, but is it true you can see?
For example, if I meet a girl for the first time and she sees it, I created a really sick story.
Yeah.
At one point I was with my brothers, I was in a fight, I needed to protect them. Someone kicked me in the eye and then... No, actually it's something I've since day one.
Yeah. But so can you see it down or no?
No.
No. And you got me, you really got me.
Of course we had a trip to the French Alps in February. Now we're here in Marrakesh. How helpful are these trips, like getting out of the daily grind? Of course we're grinding here as well, but in a different mood, I guess. How important is it for you as a business entrepreneur, like running multiple companies, to actually get out there, get surrounded by other friends and being in nature? And
yeah, entrepreneurship is a very lonely path, lonely life, because you're staring at a screen most of the time. So being able to find your crew, people you can really spend time with, without it impacting or even better helping your businesses, that's golden. And that's really something I think very rare to find. But I think, you know, this can be really life-changing in a way, because most of, you know, my childhood friends, I'm still in contact with everyone, but to be in the same mindset as your group, to be able to also afford the same experiences, the same places, and also being able to learn from each other, like these are things that are so rare to find. And when you have this, it's and of course having an amazing time as well, and just enjoying and having fun, it's the perfect combo. It's everything put together, you know?
yeah, I agree.
You cannot ask for more, I think.
This is life.
Yeah.
Like truly living. Sometimes, like as you say, entrepreneurship can be quite lonely. Even though you're making a lot of money, days are flying by and you're questioning yourself, like, is it all worth it? Like, what am I even doing? I'm seeing my bank accounts, assets growing, but is this truly it? But of course, like, those days are necessarily, especially in the beginning, to create a life full of abundance. But like we were talking about this, I think 2 days ago. Like you always feel, it's something we're working on, or at least I'm working on, and you said it as well, is that you always feel it's not enough.
Yeah.
And in the beginning you're like, yeah, of course, I don't have money yet, I'm not having this success yet, so it's not enough. But the further you get, the more you realize, like, it's a never-ending game. We talk about escape the red race, escape the 9 to 5, until you created kind of like your own red race. And not a lot of people are talking about this, because it's quite personally, and you always want to, at least for myself, I always want to, because people think I live this cool life and everything is flawless and this and that, and of course I'm super grateful, but it's also a bit like shameful to admit that you escaped one red race and you joined the next one. Maybe a bit more luxury, a bit more things, but like it's still a red race. Like I can remember the day I hit up my first million in my bank account. Like I was officially like a millionaire. That morning I cried in bed. I was so sad, because I was like, this is it. Like from the moment I started, like I even have a video with the glasses on. I don't know if you've seen it. Like I'm in my room and I'm recording myself. I'm saying like, guys, we're a millionaire. I know it. It's just not on my bank account yet. It's in my mind. So I've been thinking that I wanted to become a millionaire for so long. And then once you are, I was laying in bed on my own. I was like, this is it. Like, this is the thing I've been wanting for so many years, and what's next? It felt so empty. And that also really gave me the perspective on, like, it's really about the journey. Because what's something you cannot do with a million that you can do with 950k? You know what I mean? Of course, like, money is a great tool, but I don't think you need to attach your happiness to the outcome, because that's just a daily thing. It's just like one single moment. But what makes it beautiful is actually the journey. For example, if PSG is never going to win it actually. If Inter is going to win the Champions League, the moments that are going to be remembered is when Inter, we'll see, they hold the cup. It's not what's going to be remembered. That's just one moment when they get the cup with the big ears, when they win the league. It's not the moment that's going to be remembered. What's going to be remembered is how they beat Barcelona. What's going to be remembered is how they, at the beginning of the season, were with each other in a training camp somewhere in Spain, and we're like, guys, this year we're gonna win it. The whole journey. That's what people are gonna remember. So, like wherever you are in your journey, just understand that the only thing you have is now, and there's always more, bigger, better. And if you cannot appreciate the small things, if you cannot be grateful with your first couple clients, first couple sales, it's going to be very hard to be grateful with your first million or couple million or first car or whatever. So it's really in the small things, and appreciate the struggles as much as the wins, and also don't take things too seriously. Like in the end, we're just also like young guys, 22, 24. It's not like we're that serious. Like now we seem like super serious, but most of the time we're just like playing ping pong, playing tennis, going out, doing fun stuff, great dinners, and it's just a full circle of blessings.
And never compare yourself.
Did you had struggles with it? Is it something you experienced along your journey?
Comparing myself?
There's one here. Like, is it something you've been struggling with, like comparing yourself to other people, or?
Yeah, man, of course.
Tell me.
Now a lot less. And now it's almost... I've come to the point where I've mastered this gratefulness of being me. Because when you grow up, when you have struggles, when you're not where you want to be, there's so many times where you think, oh, I wish I was somebody else. But that is like so ungodly to say something, to say this. It's so against the whole purpose of life, you know, is understanding that you are you and you can make anything out of you. And the beauty is the struggle. The beauty is the journey that it takes to become that person. And so wanting to be somebody else is like one of the worst things you can do. But we've all, I mean, at least we've all experienced it. And especially much younger, you know, when we were 8 years old, maybe some of us wanted to be Justin Bieber. You know, there was always this person where you're like, holy shit, like, what must life be if you're that person? And I think, like, when I was scaling my businesses for a very long time, I was always looking at other entrepreneurs and being like, fuck, life must be so good when you have these numbers. Life must be so good when you have this. And I think we know who we're talking about here.
Yeah.
But one day, like one friend of mine told me, like, he looked at me, he's like, man, Louis, bro, if this guy didn't exist, you would think that you're the fucking most lucky king of the world, because there's nothing above you. Yet what we could compare, what I was comparing myself to, is like 0.1% of people, and like so many people would dream to be me. And right now I know for a fact that today so many people watch my YouTube, my Instagram, and they think like, holy shit, how would life be if I had the Porsche, if I had the watch, if I was living and traveling this way and being free? Like, I know for a fact that people are looking at my Instagram and they have this desire and think that my life must be so good. But to me, my life is just like everybody else. And so I know that the people that we know are above us in terms of financial success, they're thinking the exact same thing about other people.
Yep.
So it's a continuous chain, and everybody has that person that they can compare or not compare themselves to. And to us, this generation of like entrepreneurs, that guy was Iman. But Iman, he had other people that he was looking up to and being like, holy shit, like if I had this. probably still today he might have someone like this and still think like, oh, this is not enough. So it's never about reaching the objective and becoming as big as like whoever this person is. It's about being like, this is just a game, I'm having fun playing it, and whatever I'm chasing is just never going to end, and I just need to take this decision to like be in love with who I am and understand that money and success is 1% of life. And this is a big lesson for everyone, is life is not business and business is not life. And when you start hustling, your whole life, yes, is going to be about business. But make sure that after a little while, you understand that business means nothing. If you're someone in your family you love a lot, like dies or you become sick tomorrow, you'll give everything, your entire business, your entire money, just to get that person back or just to get your health back. So that's when you realize you're fighting for something that you would just exchange for something you already have. You would give everything away just to be with your little brother, right? And you have brothers too. Like you would give everything just to be able to see your little brother.
Yeah, man.
You know?
Really good perspective.
So
also, if you talk to people with hundreds of millions, they would trade everything to be our age again. And
there's different types of wealth.
I think wealth is abundance. I think wealth is not like money. It's so much more than that. What's wealth in your opinion?
For me, wealth is family. Wealth is having family you love and a family who loves you. Having a wife that you love, and she loves you. And it's just love. Like wealth is love. Like I've seen guys who have nothing, who are so much wealthier than me at times where I was making a lot of money just because I didn't realize how much wealth I had. So yeah, wealth is just people and health. As long as you have this, you have everything. And you might see someone with 500 million, but then, you know, they have like hundreds of millions, but then at the end of the day, well, these people, they're so lonely, right? They don't have family. They might not, I'm not saying that's the case, but they might not have family. And maybe every day they think like, holy shit, what would life be if I had someone who really loved me? And they feel poor. So yeah, comparison is a thief of joy. Never compare and never wish you had somebody else's life.
I think the moment when I realized this, that the comparison game was like so super toxic, even though people around me warned me for it, was like when I met these guys I was looking up to for the first time in person. Because then I realized like they're just like us. And also what you don't need to forget is that if you're looking at my life or Louis' life or whoever, you're only seeing what they want you to see. So you're only seeing a specific postcard, or however you want to call it. But if you look at your own life, you're seeing all your struggles, you're seeing all your weaknesses, your insecurities. So actually you're comparing your back end, e-commerce terms, with their front end. It's not fair to compare those two, because if I'm looking at my own Instagram, I'm like, damn, this guy is living life, you know?
Yeah.
Even though I'm not feeling good or feeling like times felt super lonely, stressed, I was like, fuck all this shit. Like, what if I just gonna work at a simple company and all the stress is gone? Like those thoughts sometimes like fly through my head. But then I'm like, yeah, of course, like I'm seeing like comparing a front end to a back end of someone's life is just not worth it. And the only person you should compare yourself, and it sounds so cliche, I know it, but it's actually the person you were yesterday. And that's also the reason why one of the best things I started doing in my journey is actually recording myself. That's why you see those videos of me, like those transformation videos online, where I'm like a small kid, and now I'm like this guy traveling around, still Thomas. But I used to record videos like how I feel, like my plans, my dreams, how my days were. Because I knew if I'm going to record myself, I'm going to journal about my life, and not only about the fun things, but especially about the bad things, the struggles, the overthinking part, the I don't know what the fuck I need to do anymore with my life stuff, like everyone experiences. Now if I'm feeling bad or I'm feeling whatsoever, I'm just going to look back into my iPhone pictures, or I'm going to read an old journal. I collect them, and I'm like, damn, the struggles I have right now, challenges, opportunities to grow, I used to dream of those. Like if I'm seeing those videos, I'm seeing a small insecure kid, but like super ambitious, and then I'm switching right away. Like I can be proud of myself. Of course I'm never satisfied. Of course it's hard to be satisfied if you're as ambitious as I am. I try to be more and more satisfied, grateful of course I am. But if you compare yourself with yourself, like, you see growth. If you compare yourself to a few months ago, your physique, the way you talk, the way you present yourself, the way your relationships are structured, the way how you feel, how you go over negative emotions, how you handle certain things in your businesses, the people that are around you, then life is going to become fun. Because you see you're growing. And one of the best feelings you can have as an ambitious person is seeing you're leveling up. Not in terms of money, it's just a byproduct, but just in terms of all-round character, things you experience, place you go to, thoughts you have, how you handle certain things. Because something good to realize is that probably Elon has like 600, 700 lawsuits against him.
Yeah.
And maybe he's chilling, maybe he's not.
Yeah.
But like, struggles and challenges are all relative. And that's why I suggest everyone watching this, start just documenting your journey. Not specifically to share online or to build a personal brand, or even if you're like, oh, I'm a super introverted person, especially then, because as an introverted person, and I'm introverted as well. Maybe you might not think that because I'm speaking in front of a camera, but like I was always super shy. But if you're gonna document your own journey, your struggles, it gives you peace, because you can start comparing yourself with yourself, and you're gonna play your own game. You're in your own bubble instead of only watching around you and having a toxic relationship when it comes to comparing yourself to others. So compare yourself with yourself and life is good. Louis, c'était une belle conversation.
C'était une belle conversation, vraiment. Merci.